It's Rich with Richbound Photography, Sacramento, California, and I have got a request to do some real basic Lightroom stuff. I'm not going to get into anything advanced, and I'm going to really deal with some stuff that's almost, I would say, beginner level. Other people might learn a few things, but really, this is just some really basic Lightroom stuff. So I'm going to start with this shot, and I'm running Lightroom CC. I have a Mac computer. I am running an SSD hard drive, so I've got plenty of speed. I think I've got 32 megabytes of RAM or gigabytes of RAM, and I've got a fairly good processor, so that was something that was a big deal. Really improved the quality of my life. So I can't tell you enough how much doing an upgrade on a computer will help you. We're talking at least 1 to 2 minutes possibly per image. That's crazy when you think of adding it all together. When you're waiting 20, 30, a minute to get into Photoshop, it gets time consuming. So anyway, I'm just going to do some real basic. Someone asked me today to show my preset and go break it down more. So I will. And again, this is really basic stuff. I don't want to say I'm embarrassed to even show it, but it's stuff that I guess people don't know. And I've just been doing Lightroom for, gosh, for about 12 years now. And I don't claim to be an expert, but I do what I got to do. Same thing with Photoshop. So anyway, let's start with this image. This is an exterior, and this is something that we will all come in contact with, dynamic range. We've got bright and dark. And depending on your camera, now first of all, I say you should, I can't imagine not shooting RAW. If you're not shooting RAW because you're afraid of using too much space in your computer or it's too slow, I think the benefits so outweigh the cons as far as your ability to recover shadows and bring back highlights. Now, one tip I'm going to show you in Lightroom, and this is what I'm going to go through, is some real basic stuff I never even think about. If you go up here on the right, this is your highlight, this is your histogram, and I'm not going to go into a histogram lesson, but I really suggest if you don't even know what a histogram is, you should learn. It shows you what, from completely black here, no information black, to total blowout white, no information white. This shows you where you are here. You really want to get your picture to be up in the middle, but this one sure isn't doing it. But it has a lot of dynamic range. So if I was to put my cursor over this arrow and click here, it's going to show me, you see these red dots here. Now let me increase the exposure. If you want to find out what's blown out and what has no information or what is not, you can do this on your camera. But you can also do it in Lightroom. So this is all you have to do. If I looked at this, I would be able to go up into this arrow, click it, and it's going to show me all of my blowout. What is not, there's no information here, so pretty tough to recover. But I was down here for the shot 0. I only have a little bit of blowout here, so I should have pretty good luck with recovering, making this photo actually look pretty good. Now, I will also say that I am using for this camera, this shot, this was a higher end shoot. I was a little more concerned, so I did not use the Sony a6000. It does not have quite as good a dynamic range. I used my Nikon D750, which does have quite impressive dynamic range. Exterior, I'm shooting f10. I don't think there's any real reason to shoot more than f10 unless you need it because of it's too bright out. But I think f10 will get everything in focus, and I'm at probably aperture priority mode, aperture mode. So all I'm doing is setting the f-stop and I'm letting the camera decide the shutter for me. Now, I went with ISO 250. Don't ask me why. I would have normally gone with ISO 100 on this camera. So that was not a mistake, but a little faux pas on my part. So let's get into, and it's 1/160th of a second. So it's normal settings. So let me show you my special sauces I've showed other people, and it's not a trademark. It's nothing you can steal it. It's just what I use called the real estate full bump, or my special sauce. And right here, we're at reset. We're at 0 through the whole line here. So I'm just going to click this to show you where I'm going to go with this. Okay, this is all done in Lightroom. So we went from, wait a second, sorry. We went from this to this just by moving sliders. So, and down here, no, I didn't deal with the dehaze, which is actually a really cool tool, which I'll show you on this picture. So let's go back to reset it. First thing I'm going to do to get the same, I have only done this because I found these are the settings I like the best. It's the look that I personally like. And this is by no means a finished image, but it's a start. So with one click, you can get that. So let me go here. Okay, we're going to start with highlights. Let's just bring down the highlights. You can see here, I recovered a lot. Really brought it down from there to there. Okay, I went all the way with my highlights. I tend to do it pretty heavy. Kind of flattens out my image a little bit, but I like the look personally. Okay, now shadows. Let's bring it in and bring back some of the recovery. And you could go that far, but I could go a little further. So I'm going to now, when I do this, I tend to bring my exposure down just a little bit in general. Okay? So you can see actually now your histogram is getting more in line with a peak in the middle. It's still not. It's still got a lot of highlights. But you know what? This is a real estate shoot. And if I can get something this good and looking this good, I'm pretty happy. There's a few more things we can do. Next thing I want to do is add a little bit of contrast. I'm just going to do maybe 20. So let's see, oh wait, we're down negative. Let me go to 0 contrast, and I'm going to go to 20. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is go to clarity. Nope, I'm going to go to blacks. I'm going to go negative, and I'm just going to change the black point. Let's see, I like it about there. Okay, and then whites. I tend to bring my whites up a little bit. It's not going to do much here. It adds a little pop in my opinion. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overdo any of these. Except my highlights and the shadows, I usually overdo. But you can go overboard with it, especially if you have a camera that isn't as good with dynamic range. It can cause problems. It can cause artifacts. But we're not going to go there. So I've got these basic settings here. I'm going to add a little bit of clarity. Now look what happens when I add a little bit of clarity. You really can't see it much here. That's a little too far. But adding a little bit of clarity kind of sharpens it up, gives it a little pop. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down to dehaze. Now there isn't a lot of haze here, but I'm going to see if I can have a photo. I don't know if I've got one picked out for this tutorial, but dehaze is a lot of fun to play with. You can go overboard really easy, but dehaze will just bring it a little, it's almost like adding more contrast. So there we go. Just a little bit. Okay? Now, it's looking pretty good. Now the next thing I want to do is, if I look here, I think I've got a little bit of barrel distortion. You can see it's not a straight line. Now, I'm going to show another tip which you can do, and I've shown this before, but I'm going to show it again. It's how you get the grid lines to come up in Lightroom. So, on a Mac, I'm going to do the Option, hold down Option, Command at the same time, and the letter O. And there I've got my grid lines, okay? On a PC, it's Alt and Command. I think it's Command. It's that little squiggly four-cornered thing. Anyway, I haven't been a PC for a while, so I forgot. Anyway, now, This shows you your lines, which is not really helpful here because it's of the angle, but I will show it on another shot and it will really help you. But you can see, I'm going to actually raise the exposure a little bit because I want you to see. You can see I've got a little bow here from right here, and I can see it on this line. Now another thing I can do is if I hold down with the overlay, the grid overlay, that's why you push O for overlay, I think. Anyway, I'm going to hold down the command key and it will bring up this. And then I can bring this wherever I want to. So right here to see my barrel distortion, I'm going to go right here and I can see it. It goes a little bit here. So I'm going to show you. We're going to deal with how to do perspective correction. And this is really basic stuff, but a lot of people don't know how to do it, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to go down here into lens correction. Okay? Now, I could do basic, which I can show you on another picture, which will get you in the ballpark. But right here, and now on this photo, I have not done any profile, lens profile. I have not done anything. So let's start with manual. I just want to get rid of the distortion. And sometimes doing this on manual is actually easier and faster than trying to do the basic. Because the basic doesn't always work in my opinion. But it works about 75% of the time for me. Anyway, I want to just get rid of that. So what I want you to do is look here at this bow. And I'm going to bring this in. There we go. Okay. So that got rid of the lens distortion from, this is a Nikon, this is 16 to 35 Nikon. I need it as wide as I could get. By the way, I'm up on a 13-foot ladder with my camera handheld. Do all my exterior shots during the day handheld. Anyway, let's go and reset this. Okay. No, I want to keep it so you can see that. Okay, I'm going to keep the exposure up. I'm now going to go, instead of manual, I'm going to go basic. Okay, and I'm just going to do enable profile corrections, which is it's going to know that it's the Nikon 16 to 35. Okay, remove chromatic aberrations and constrain crop. Okay, auto. There we go. So that is pretty good. So this was the basic automatic. And I'll get rid of the overlay. So again, to get rid of the overlay, all you do is press Option, Command, and the letter O. So we've got this here, and it looks good. Let me go back to where it was. Okay, and there. So it went from there. Now I'm just going to do basic again and show you. Bam, 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 bam. There we go. Okay. And that basically really fixed it. And so you can do manual or basic, which is automatic. But you can also do, let me go backwards. One more. There we go. You can also do your profile. You've got your enable profile correction. And this knows the model is 16 to 35. So you can find your camera model, your lens model. And what it's going to do is it's going to know that mine is a Nikon, but you could go anywhere, any of these. So you should spend a little time in the lens correction settings. And this one, again, is the 16 to 35. So if you have a new lens that comes out, you may not have corrections for that lens or a camera. So you got to understand that Lightroom or Photoshop takes a little while to catch up. Okay, I'm going to now bring this down in the exposure back to where I had it, back just under 0. There you go. Okay, so this is looking good. And actually, with my eye, I'm going to go to do the overlay again. I think I'm going to just bring it this way a little bit. I think that looks better to me. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks good. Anyway, I'm now going to do crop this shot because I don't want so much on the right and so much on the left. Now what I want to do is up here in the crop and straighten area, I've got crop picked. Okay, so I'm going to go to keep this lock down, and the lock is keeping the aspect. If I lifted up the lock, I could move the crop to whatever I wanted, but I want to keep it to my aspect, which is oh shoot, don't let me I think it's 4x6. Yeah, 2x3, 4x6. Anyway, I'm going to keep it there, and I'm just going to bring this in down to about here. I'll just go, I want to show a little bit of that window, and then I'm going to bring it here, and then I'm just going to bring it up here. Oops, I didn't want the, and if you want to go backwards, you just do Command Z. Anyway, commands are really great to have. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit smaller, and there we go. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the overlay, Command Option O, and I'm going to do one other thing. I tend to do this. I go up here in Vignette, and I just want to do a Vignette 1, just a little bit. Just kind of brings your eyes into the center. There it is. I wouldn't do the number 2. It's a little heavy, although sometimes I do it. But I'm going to do the number 1. Okay. I might also go and add a little bit of sharpening. I don't tend to do that because I'm pretty happy with my sharpness. I could actually make this a little shorter on the right-hand side. And what I want to do is to show you what the original, actually the delivered shot is. So you can see here, this is the one we were working on, and this is the, oh shoot, that's the delivered shot. Wait a second. I guess on this shot, I really cropped it. So this is the one I actually delivered. And quite a bit of difference. Anyway, I like this too. But yeah, this is the one that I just delivered. Okay, so you can see it, the difference on there. I was mistaken. So I delivered a little tighter, and I don't know what the heck that is. What is going on in there? Looks like I got something. Okay, I'm going to teach you a new trick. Here, right here is the clone tool, and I use heal generally, and I just go in here and I go opacity 100%, feather a little bit, and I just go bam, and then it will find something which hopefully looks similar, and then I'll get rid of it. Anyway, okay, so this was actually done a little later because we wet down the ground. So anyway, but this is fine. Oh, look, there's a dog in the shot. I didn't deliver that one. It was a fun dog anyway. Okay, so now let's go to the next shot that we're going to do a tutorial. I just want to do a simple bathroom, and I want to do white balance. So this is, I think, an ambient shot. And a lot of times in a small bathroom like this, I will do all ambient. But I don't think the white balance is right here. So all I'm going to do here, there's a couple of things you can do. But what I'm going to do here is you could manually do it. You could turn it, play to your heart's content. But right now, I'm just going to take my eyedropper tool. You're in the color adjustment, the basics. And I'm going to take my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to go on something I know is white, which is usually a sink. I'm going to go there, and there we go. So let's go back, and I like the white balance much more here. Actually, I might add a little bit of orange, just a touch. There we go. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to do on here is I'm going to get rid of the door because I don't like doors. I don't think we need them. The trick to a bathroom is you got to understand what you got to show. You don't need to show the toilet, so we're not going to get rid of it, but this is about all I need. So it's just a gratuitous shot. It's just a bathroom, but my agents have to show a bathroom if it's generally, if I don't have a zillion shots, I always take a picture of a bathroom. And I tend to do a horizontal shot because it looks better and it's easier in Lightroom. I mean, in MLS. Okay, so that was a little trick on white balance. So you can play with it yourself. But the eyedropper tool, again, you can move it to different parts of the room too. And on whites. But they will come up differently. And I find that inside a sink sometimes is the best. So the next thing I'm going to do, I could also add a little bit of my special sauce. I tend to change every single shot a little bit. And I've done this enough that I'm going to just know that this is probably what I've got here. And there we go. I don't want to spend a lot of time here. Actually, look like I've got a little bit of vertical off. So I'm going to also come down to perspective and I'm going to do basic. Bam, bam, bam. Let's see what it does. It didn't really fix this. So, but it goes back to the original crop. So anyway, I'm just going to go backwards. I'm going to keep that. I could actually just rotate my picture a little bit. Okay, but you know what? I got the vertical straight there. And actually, I might have a teeny bit of barrel distortion on that door. There we go. Okay, I'm happy. Way too much time spent on this bathroom. Okay, let's go on to this shot. This is going to be a long tutorial. I'm going to get, just show you some basic edits. I'm not doing anything. This is an ambient shot. I think this is ambient, but regardless, it could be an ambient shot. So what I'm going to do first here is you can see the barrel distortion here. Okay, you see it here. Bam, let's just put up the overlay, which is Option Command O. Look at that. And I'm going to hold down Command and I'm going to move this here. And you can see I put it on the top up here. Up here, look at this, up here. And look, it goes, woo, man, a lot of barrel distortion. Let's bring it over here to here, right there. That's not so bad, but you can definitely see it. Anyway, I'm going to get rid of the overlay, and I'm just going to go basic. Profile correction, that basically did it. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is, I don't tend to crop first. So I'm going to go backwards. I'm not going to crop. I'm going to reset it here. Okay, first thing I want to do is my special sauce. Okay, now, it's not where I want it to be, but I'm going to add a little bit of exposure. I'm going to take out a little bit of the oranges. Okay, we're going to do that in a second. I'm going to add a little bit of whites. And it's quite colorful. So I'm going to bring down there. Now the only thing is, and it's very orange. Now when you get a room with an orange ceiling, orange floors, orange everything, it's going to come off with a lot of color cast. So what you want to do now is go down into the colors. You have black and white, color, and HSL, which is going to be my, I don't know what HSL stands for, but I'm going to go in HSL. Okay, I'm going to go here now, and I'm just going to do saturation, and I'm just going to take out some of the orange. I'm going to take out some of the yellow. And I think that toned it down a lot. Okay. You can see the green out the window, but for this shot, I did a window pull. I did a full-blown masking on this. But what I can do is add a little bit of green. It's not going to do much here. And I'm not getting any really blue color casts, so if you see, if I take out the blue saturation, not doing much. except it's changing the blue right there of the little thing. Oh, there's a little bit of blue here. You can see what it will do. Take that out. But it's not bothering me, and I like this. A little bit of blue there. Generally, rooms don't have a lot of blue. Blue is easy to take out, and I'll see if I have another shot where we have blue. I don't know if I do today. Anyway, okay, so let's go now back into the lens correction. Let's do the basic, bam, okay? Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to keep it on, I want to keep the aspect ratio. So I'm going to deliver it. All I want to do is see a little bit of this wall. I don't need to see much. And I was torn between getting rid of this beam or not, but I see it in another shot because it's a big feature of the house. So you know what? I'll keep it. And I also see the woodwork down here. So I think it's valuable. I'm actually going to show a little more floor. Okay? So now I'm just going to go back up into here, and I'm going to go into my manually, see if I can make this look a little better. Okay, I added just 1%, -1 in green exposure. Maybe brighten this up a little bit. And contrast I've got. And I've got everything I like. So I'm going to keep it here. This looks good. But I want to show you the photo I delivered, which this is the photo I delivered right here. Okay. Oh, it's pretty warm. So I left in, yes, I did leave in these selling points. And I probably did a mask. So let me go back into here, bring it down to 0 stars and see what I used here. I think I used this image. And I used a couple of others. Here's the window shot I got. No, I don't think I used this window. Let me see this one. Nope, didn't use that one. There we go. I used this window pull, and here's the final shot. So window pull is pretty helpful. You know, and here's the one I just did, but this is, I think it's ambient. It might be lit. But anyway, it's hard to go over photos that you did a month or 2 ago anyway. So there's the finished product, and this was the one I just did for you. Not bad. I'll take it. But you can see this one less shine here because I used more lighting. Let's look up here. Much less shine here. So I think it's a much advantage to using a lit shot. And let's see, which one is the lit shot? I might have used parts. I probably used part of this shot. I probably used this window. And I might have used this roof here. So anyway, you can composite, but we're not doing a composite video. We're just doing basic corrections. So anyway, and I might actually even go a little more contrast and clarity. And you know what? Let's go down here to dehaze. There we go. A little nicer. And because the other one was a little warmer, go up into here. Okay. There's the original, the finished product, and here's the one I was doing today. Anyway, not bad. Okay, so I'm going to go back up here into 5 stars because I designated the photos I wanted to do today with you by 5 stars. Okay, let's do this shot. Okay, this is a single flash, or is it? Let me look here. No, this is a flash shot. So I put a flash above here. But you know what? Let's try and see what we can do with an ambient shot. Okay. Let's go. A little underexposed for ambient, but let's just go with special sauce. Look at that. It actually brought it up almost somewhat tolerable. I wouldn't deliver this, but it's ambient, and I'm not crazy about the light. I wish I didn't even do the light. So anyway, here is the finished product I used, and I did a window pull here. You can see I exposed for the window, And I used, I think I used this shot or this shot. There we go. But let's go here to the one I was going to work on. This is a single flash put up in the ceiling up in here. And it's straight out of camera. This is straight out of camera. I'm just going to do my special sauce. Look at that. That is pretty nice. Let's go back one. Okay. Just adding a little bit of niceness. Now, the other thing I wanted to do is you can see the barrel distortion here, but we're going to actually crop out that wall. I'm looking here on the finished product. I did crop out that wall. So we're going to go here, and basically here we're just going to go enable profile correction, crop, auto, bring it in. I'm going to take out now, for you, those of you who have little teeny bits of things in your shot, like a little bit of wall or a little bit of this dresser or whatever that was, just crop it out. Don't leave a little teeny bit of anything. We don't need to see 3 walls here. Don't need to be too wide. I've got issues here though. I've got big shine here. Let me see. The finished product is much better with that shine. I got the window with using lighting, doing the window pull. But you know what? This is the single flash, and actually this came out pretty darn good. Now, one thing I'm going to do here is we can work on the white balance of this room. You can see it's really getting warm here and here. That's the one great thing about using, even here, we'll just show you with the single flash. Look at the difference in the colors of the green. It's true. Here it's not even close. It looks like a different color. And this is important when you get into designer photos. You got to keep out the color cast, and using a light does that. So anyway, I'm not going to go into using lights or not using lights because this tutorial is for everyone. But here we go. What I want to do now is I'm going to try and find either something I know is neutral gray, but I tend to do the white balance eyedropper tool on something white. And that's white right there. Okay, now, believe it or not, this really got it much better, much closer, but we have some serious issues here. Look at the ceiling. So what we want to do here is what I did before. This is coming from the sunlight coming in, not the sunlight, but the sun, the temperature, color temperature of the outside is polluting all this. So here's where you would bring down, you can see it all in here, all the color. Just take out the blue. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so let's go back here with the blue in it. Look at the ceiling. I'll just take out most of the blue. It got it much better. So again, it's not as good as a lit shot, but it's better. And it's better than if it was if I didn't do the color picker, the adjustment. Okay. Anyway, so there we are, and I think that actually worked pretty good. So you've learned a few things. You've learned how to do the special sauce, or you can make up your own preset. There's nothing magical about presets. You buy presets on the web, they're just people doing their own thing. They're not doing anything that you can't do. So we learned to crop out these things. We learned that, I'm going to go back. Oh, just for now, we learned to use the eyedropper tool to find something we know is white or gray. Actually, here's gray. I know it's gray. Perfect. Let's see what that does. And it actually stayed the same as the white. So white or gray is pretty good to use. But if you went on to like red, it's not going to work at all. Got to use a neutral color. Anyway, so let's reset this. Here we go. And this is where we went to begin with. Real quickly, again, we just did the full bump. We did a little bit of exposure. We did the white balance tool right here. Let's do that. We took out the blue saturation, almost all of it. There we go. Now we, I'm not going to touch that. So we're going to do the profile for the lens correction. Got that. We're going to bring this lock down. We're just going to bring, and I actually can just go in like this and then back off so I don't have to do both sides. There we go. And let me try one thing. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but the vignette one. Not bad. So that's an ambient shot, and I wouldn't deliver it, but that's just me. And there's the finished shot I delivered, but it took a lot more work. But you can see the difference. Lighting adds a lot of good stuff. But here's the single shot, single light. So that was pretty good. That's straight out of camera with one light. Anyway, I'm going to go to the next shot. So let's go to 5-star and go to the next one. Okay, this is straight out of camera. I probably got a couple of lights here. The only thing I'm not going to be able to get out without going into Photoshop and masking in another layer is I think my lights up here at this radio speaker is, phonograph speaker is creating a shadow. So ignore that. All I'm going to do here, and this kind of shows you too, you don't need to be super wide on all of your shots. I did get a shot of a very wide kitchen in this house, but all I'm going to do is special sauce. There we go. Bam. I like it. Bam. That's straight out of camera, basically. So in the final product, let's see now the final shot. This is the final delivered, which, you know what? There's not a whole lot of difference. I think I masked in the lights from a darker exposure. I masked out most of that, and I did a window pull in here. I probably went in this room and flashed a flash in the window. But you can see there's not that much difference. Pretty nice. I'm happy. Anyway, cool house, huh? Look at the stuff this guy's got. All this workmanship. Anyway, this isn't about that. So I'm not going to go further on this because this is just about doing simple Lightroom techniques. So I'm going to show you now one last shot straight out of camera. And the only thing I did here, it's not straight out of camera because this is with my Samyang 12mm, and I swear it has virtually no distortion, but I wanted to show you what distortion is. And for those of you that are not clear on what barrel distortion is, for God's sake, go look it up on the internet and learn what it is and learn how to fix it. But what we're going to do right here is I'm just going to show you how to fix barrel distortion. This could actually be a shot. It's a little extreme, but it'll show you first what to do. So I'm going to go here. And I'm just going to manually, I brought it down to negative to show you what it is. But all you'd have to do is go right. And I've got my grid, and I wish I could tell you how to have that happen. I don't think this is standard out of the box, but in lens correction, when I'm here, it is showing me a grid. So it helps me to see what's going on. And I don't remember what I did to have that work, but right now you can see there's actually, I'm getting a little pin cushioning is when it goes in. This is pin cushion right here. Bam. And this is barrel distortion. So right now I'm just going to bring it down to here, and I'm going to go right there. And that to me looks straight. I'm going to do the overlay, Option Command O. Look at that. And looks straight. Everything looks straight. Because of the angle, you're not going to get straight horizontals. But I did not do a single point composition here, which I could have. But I felt fine with this. So basically, I'm now going to just... One trick with using your crop tool is all I want to do is crop it, because when you fix it, you're going to need to crop out what it has changed. Again, look at this. You can see it. It brings it down, and if you left it like that, you'd have to crop that out. So I'm going to keep it down about here. Actually, a little more. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to move this in, but I'm going to be looking at this line and this line. I'm going to be moving it into here until it's all the way inside here, and I'm going to bring it back here. But I'm going to show you another really cool tool. So let me take out the crop. Okay, all you have to do is go down to your constrain crop tool. I never use it because I just don't even think about it. And there you go. Bam, bam. Okay, so if I was to give it a, if I was to go, something else, it's going to constrain it. So let me go out of here. Let me go back to reset my crop. Okay, and let me go into the lens correction. I'm going to do constrain crop, and I'm going to just adjust my barrel distortion. And when you let go, bam, there you go. So I hope you've learned that. There's a few other tools. Lens vignetting. Some of my lenses vignette a little bit, so you can change that. You can see it. So you can use it artistically, or you can go to the vignette tool, the vignette preset, and use that. But you're not going to see it with the crop tool on. You only see it without the crop tool. Okay, you can see now. I'm going to go back. No vignette, vignette. Or you could do vignette down here, less. Okay. Now, we haven't even done anything with this photo, so let's go. Usually I do that stuff last, but I wanted to show it to you. So right now I'm going to do my full real estate full bump. There we go. And I'm going to take out, I see a little bit of blue in here or a little bit of blue in here. I'm just going to lose that. Do you see that? It went from a little bit of blue to no blue. Anyway, and I got it there. This is reset. Okay, and this is probably a single. This might be a single flash, or this might be an ambient shot. I don't know. But let me see the one I delivered. Oh, I might not have even delivered this one. Anyway, so that's giving you a good idea of a few shots, and we can even do, let's just do one more. I'll just do I don't even know what shot this is. This is a single shot, and this is straight out of camera. Oh my God, almost. I never do straight out of camera. So let me go reset. All I did was crop it. This is a single light bouncing right above camera, just a little bit in front of camera. And I didn't want to see out the window. So a single light, and this is 320 ISO, 1/25th of a second, and it's probably f8. And this is 18 millimeters. So all I need to do, I could actually do let me see my special sauce on this one. Yeah, you could do special sauce here. And I'm going to crop it. Crop, and remember, we can do the constrain crop. So let's just go here. There we go. Okay, so that's, I could do more on here, but a simple bedroom is the best thing to practice what you do. Let's go here. This is an ambient shot, I think. Let me reset. Yeah, this is ambient. All I'm going to do here, and you can see a little bit of barrel distortion. So the Samyang or the Rokinon does have a little bit. So let me, you can see it right here. Hold on a second. Let me go to the overlay. And you can see it from up here to down here in the middle. It's bowing out a little bit. So all I want to do is bring that in there. But since I'm going to crop out the door, you don't need to show that. I'm telling you. In a laundry room, you want to just show mainly the cabinets. This bar I want to leave in. The cabinet down here. They can get an idea of what it is. And there you go. So I'm going to get out of here because this is turning into being a 40-minute tutorial, the longest one I've ever done. So I hope this helps. And if you want something else to understand, please send me messages and note. Kind words are always nice thoughts. And I just feel great that I can help people out. Anyway, this is Rich Baum with Rich Baum Photography. Stopping screen recording out.